Hello guys, and welcome to the first official episode of Driving with Bob. I will be your host, Bob, and this will be episode 1 of the series. Content-wise, not really sure what we're going to be doing, I'll be honest with you. I just decided on this for the simple fact that my wife would be away for a little while due to her job, and me playing video games already and talking to myself, I figured I might as well at least record it. That way I can at least use some plausible deniability when some people think that I'm going crazy. So I decided that I can record it, put it onto a video, and then see if anybody wants to listen to the ramblings of somebody the likes of me. So I figured, you know what? We'll start off, since I play a lot of driving games, and I put a lot of time, effort, energy into a driving simulator rig that I made at home. I'd start off with just some casual drives in Euro Truck Simulator. So sit back, grab a coffee, and let's get into it. I'm just going to start off by creating a profile here, and then we can actually delve into it here. So this is just the main career page, starting a career. I like the person that looked kind of like a rocker, but kind of a weird looking outfit there, but whatever. Oh, this guy, I don't think it actually makes any difference. And then we'll just get it going there. We're gonna do Europe, and let's start it off. I don't know what that is, so we're gonna do connect later. Alright guys, so we've created this new profile, so now we're just gonna get started here. Okay, you know what, that looks like a lot of work. We're not gonna do that actually. We're not going to do that. Not setting up everything else again. So we're actually going to delete this career. And we're just going to go with one that I was playing with before. Because at the end of the day, this is not what the channel's about. The channel's not about this career. The channel is about just having discussions and having a good time. Talking about everything and nothing in particular. So let's just get into it here. I think I was already in the middle of the job here. Don't actually remember how much further we have to go, but I think this is a good as place as any to start the recording. So we'll, without further ado, let's turn on the truck and get into it here. You will hear some clicking background noises. I do apologize. My trucking simulator that I built has a standard transmission, like a gear shifter, which is actually what you're hearing with the clicks. There's the gear shifter is clicking. So that's what those clicks are. Oh, and actually we have to pull in here and go to sleep, so I'm just going to take this out and go to sleep here. No, I decided to start off this channel, not that anybody asked, but I'm going to say it anyways. I decided to start off this channel just because, like I had mentioned before, my wife goes away on work for extended periods of time. She's a travel nurse. So with that being said, I found myself doing a lot of video gaming anyways to occupy my time. One being driving around in my driving simulator, and I figured, you know what, since I'm doing it anyways to occupy my time while my wife's not here, and quite often some of the time I talk to myself. I don't know if other people do, if I'm just a weirdo, but I figured because of that I might as well, you know what, record some of these nonsense ramblings. Oh, gotta put it in first gear. That was silly of me. So there's that. Additionally, I was very fortunate enough to actually have pretty much the entire month of July off from work, which has been absolutely lovely. So that's been awesome. it's been kind of really helpful to just kind of kick back, relax, and just kind of focus on me. I know a lot of people, far too many people, don't take enough time to focus on themselves, and I think in today's day and age that's very important. So yeah, so I'm just taking the time to really do that. All right, so with that being said, we're moving some luxury SUVs today. Somewhere in Europe, I'll be honest. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't really pay attention to where I picked up and dropped off, or where I'm going to drop off. If you guys recall or recognize this area, you know. You will notice that the screen is slightly cropped. Keeping in mind this is my very first video, I've never done anything like this before. The screen is going to be cropped because on my driving/racing/trucking simulator, I do have triple monitors, and the software that I'm using to actually record the screen, it initially tried to render all three of them, and it looked very stretched and wide and awkward. So I just thought that instead of trying to crop that down and make it look really weird and whatnot, that I would just at least for the first video, take just the center screen and see how it goes. See what people think. If there's, you know, a terrible outcry from the viewers, one of them being me, that they don't like it, then I'll change and adjust it. But in the event that anybody out there that does come across this video is wondering, that's typically why. Or sorry, that's not typically why. That is why. There's no typically about it. So yeah, like I said, just gonna finish this. This drive, and then I'll reevaluate based on the durations. But I just figured I needed a time for myself that I could just kind of talk and vent about things in the world, and kind of de-stress. I'll be honest, I don't have any kids, so I don't really have any stress as a child, you know, taking care of a child or anything like that. So, you know, my stressors realistically only lie within my job, which a lot of people will say that's really sad. You shouldn't let your job dictate so much of your life stress, but unfortunately, my job pays the bills as much as I would like to have an alternate source of income. I just don't. So the job pays the bills, and that's what keeps a roof over my head and allows me to play video games and do things like this. I just recently got this this Moses shifter here, part of this driving simulator. I will say, it is so cool and so immersive when you have a shifter for this game. I do also play racing games, like Assetto Corsa and stuff like that. But those ones, typically the cars that I'm driving are using paddle shifters, and the steering wheel that I have, one of the steering wheels that I have, has paddle shifters. So you don't necessarily need to use the standard 6-speed shifter. So you kind of lose that little aspect of immersion. But with this truck in this game being a 12-speed, I have the gear shifter, the 6-speed, with just like a splitter button. So you essentially just click a button, and then it goes from the low to high range, or vice versa. So you can go through gears 1 to 12, which is actually pretty cool. It makes it super immersive, super fun, and it just kind of allows me to zone out, regardless of what's going on outside, how bad work is, and anything else going on. I just kind of enjoy. Just kind of relax and enjoy. I do play a lot of other video games. It's not just driving. Like I play a lot of Call of Duty and stuff like that. Actually, I need to get gas. I do play a lot of those other games. So there is that aspect. But I find that a lot of those other video games are not helping me calm down or zen or anything like that. They actually just stress me out a lot. There's always, especially in Call of Duty, there's always that need to be like, you know, the sweat, you know, the super sweat, or, you know, get all these, you know, crazy scores and all this, you know, all this nonsense. It's super hard to just play casually And I've noticed as I've gotten older, I'm in my mid-30s now. As I've gotten older, it's definitely something that you want to do with your time off. You don't want to be sweating and aggravated and stuff like that. You want to be able to play more casually. You want to be able to relax, kick it with your friends or whatever else, and just have a good time. And I've noticed that unfortunately, that is not something that is quite as common as it once was. I feel people are always sliding, slipping, and doing all these crazy things. So that's one of the reasons why I don't play that quite as much, just because it's a lot harder to find casual times to play that. Okay, so I'm just gonna fill some fuel here. Whew, quite a lot of fuel. All right, filled up with fuel, onward and upward. I love how there was like 4 stalls there, and only one of them had a little green icon allowing me to actually fill up. So I mean, even if I wanted to, and I didn't want to wait for that guy, I couldn't have even gone around if I wanted to. That's kind of funny. I am playing this game completely vanilla. That means that there's no mods, no texture mods, no shading packs, no weather mods, traffic, nothing. Everything is 100% vanilla. It's not that I have anything against mods. It's not that I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I didn't really find the time to dedicate to looking for all the right mods and installing them. Most of my time with the simulator has been dealing with constructing it, and I find that this is beautiful enough coming from a guy that grew up playing old school Blizzard games. I just figured these graphics are as good as any. I don't need some crazy texture packs. I don't need to go to Patreon and pay somebody some money and do whatever else. Good for those that do, and support them. Heck yeah, right on. But for me, this is perfectly fine. Between this and farming simulators, racing games, whatever all else, it's perfectly acceptable for me. Like I mentioned, this is my very first video. Never made anything like this before. I've never even ventured to try. So I don't actually know how this is going to turn out. Someone suggested to me for the very first one, just for, I don't know if it's posterity's sake or whatever else, but they recommended not to edit or crop or adjust your first video, your first couple of videos in any way, shape, or form, so that you get like the raw, unadulterated, I guess feedback and response. We'll see how that goes. I'll be honest with you. I don't even know how to edit if I wanted to. So this is going to be the complete raw and unedited footage, just for the simple fact that I actually have no idea what I'm doing. I was never big into technology aside from playing video games. I never got into any of the social media stuff. I don't have any of that stuff. And so I wasn't really like a guru or a wizard with that. I know a lot of people are amazing at clipping and cropping and splicing and doing all that fancy stuff. But I do not have any experience or knowledge with that. That's a whole other world for me. So I'll try to take the most basic route, do the most basic thing. Thankfully, there are things like ChatGPT that help you out and make it a little bit more tolerable, so that people like me can understand it. Oh wow, there's a bit of a traffic jam here. I don't even know where we are. Okay, well, we're gonna take this next lane here because it looks like this guy's that guy's gonna go there. So we're just gonna skip the 7th gear there. Okay. This is clearly just like a toll road. Can you even read those? Can't even read that. $11. Toll road was $11. Wow. I don't know how far or where I got on for that or where they started charging me, but or was that euros? 11 euros? Whatever it was 11 somethings of the currency that we're in. So I don't know if that's good or bad. Katowice, Ostrava. those places are, I'll be honest with you. Come on, buddy, why are you driving so slow? Alright, let's get around. Let's get around. Oh, we're supposed to be in this lane anyways. Perfect. Don't merge into me. I do have the ETS game as well, the American Truck Simulator, which has like the regular North Americanized, you know, cabs with the front ends and all that stuff. I haven't really traveled around Europe too much, and I think it's actually really cool to just like drive around and see, you know, see different parts. Obviously, it's not, you know, exactly true to the areas, but it is cool. The road sizes, you know, by the seashore, stuff like that. It is very cool. I'll be honest with you, it is very cool. So I do quite enjoy that. Oh, bumpy, bumpy. One of the hobbies I most recently started picking up on was building things in carpentry. It was just because I spend a lot of time at work. I do shift work. I don't really like to talk about what I do, so I probably won't mention it again outside of this video. So if you do happen to watch this video, or this stream does, you know, end up on somebody's feed later down the line, you know, on a different video other than episode 1 type of thing, and I happen to mention something to the effect of the job, yeah, I don't really like talking about it. I do work in shift work. Shift work. In the emergency services. It is kind of stressful. I'll be honest, that's why I needed an outlet like this. There are pretty bad days that you have, pretty down days, and the fact that my wife is not home a lot of the time, you know, doesn't make it any easier, let's put it that way. Oh shoot, I just ran into somebody. Whoops. It doesn't make it any easier. You know, I consider my wife to be my best friend, you know, and somebody that I can tell everything to, right? And so when my wife's not here, it is kind of difficult, when you kind of feel like you're missing that part of you. So that's why I come on here. That's why I come on here to play, and I find myself sometimes playing on multiplayer and then just wanting to be by myself. And I find myself kind of dictating, or not dictating, sorry, yeah, dictation, I guess. Dictating what I'm doing here like this, and kind of just being verbal about what I'm saying. And so I figured, you know what, that was why I was going to come on here and kind of make a video. You know, in the event that other people are kind of like struggling, going through any kind of similar thing as well. Mental health is a big aspect of what I'm interested in. And being a big advocate for. Like I said, I did not recognize that this talk would take that kind of a pivot, but you know, like the channel says, really I don't have anything specific to talk about at all. I talk about nothing and everything at the same time. So I mean, the fact that it somehow pivoted to mental health, you know, I don't know, but kind of glad we got there. But anyways, we're just pulling into the parking lot here and figure out where they want me to drop this off. It's never in like the nice easy spot, eh? It's never in like a convenient location, like the front door, just pull right in, drop the trailer here. No, it's like around back their warehouse. Okay, so this line here is where it's got to go. So we're just gonna pull in up here. And as I approach this final approach here, I'm just gonna close out this first episode. But yeah, I guess that was one of the reasons why I kind of made this channel. Was also just like a safe space for me to kind of vent and talk about things, get things off my chest, I guess. When I say safe space, I mean because I can talk to myself pretty much. There's no kind of outside judgment, and then go from there, really. And unfortunately, yeah, like I said, sometimes my job is really shitty, and sometimes there are really shitty days, and I need to have some kind of easy outlet, some like, you know, a place that I can kind of go and kind of just not really pay attention to what's going on and kind of zone out. And that is something that this can provide. Okay, those lights are bright. And that is something that this can provide me. So that's kind of where I was going with that. So that's one of the reasons for this channel. But yeah, so that was it. Again, like I said, welcome to the channel. And if you did make it all the way through this video, thanks for sticking it out. Appreciate it. We're here. We're gonna drop the load. See what we got paid. See what the tally is. The job condition, excellent. And I'll see you on the next Ride with Bob. Thanks so much for driving with Bob.